No, we have some. Few minutes.
I don't know how to put this exactly. It's kind of a long question. I'm pretty sure many people have experienced this, but like, you go through life and you have multiple options that have been given to you of like how you can proceed with something, and like you can freely move into each option and go through option A and have this happen, go through option B and have this happen. But like, how do you know like which is the option that you should pick? Like, which one's the one that is most calling for your service or for your duty? Like, how do you know which one is going to be most like optimal for you and for the Lord, and like involving both of those? And
I think that's a question that's relevant to everybody. It's a question that comes up a lot. It's a question that everybody experiences in life, right? For myself, I remember I was in my early 20s and not knowing what to do with my life, and I was just kind of like, I was reading a chapter of Bhagavad Gita every night, like very loudly, out loud. And I just had this idea in my head toward the Lord of like, if you would just freaking tell me what I'm supposed to do, then I would do it, But there's a deeper layer to conscious experience. It's not a mathematical transaction, and it's not a necessarily a commanding thing that has zero expression from our side. We're actually, I was asking God what to do, but what I realized later was He wanted me to be in uncertainty, and that was what I was supposed to do. Because uncertainty makes you mind things. It makes you think about, why am I alive, actually? And, really, who am I? And what am I doing in this world that I know is phenomenal, but at the same time I'm very attached to? You have to confront some of these things. And you can't just be mindless, be like, I know what I got to do. Boom, boom, boom. I got to break rocks all day. It's not like that. You have to actually experience these moments in uncertainty because they're requesting something of you. Guru Maharaj has a very beautiful kind of progression of our thought process as it evolves into trust of the Lord. And the first, Guru Maharaj, he says, the beginning of spiritual life, we feel all risk and all gain. And all risk means there's this sort of egotistic identity that I call myself. If I analyze myself maybe a little bit, it's a little bit of a performance, actually. I'm presenting a particular look. I'm, putting some titles next to myself, whether the title be my job or my academic accomplishment or whatever it is. I'm a goth or something or whatever, right? I'm like putting these labels on my identity that I'm deciding to take on. And that thing becomes at risk, right? So there's some risk when you're moving into actual spiritual life. But then you think, there's this wonderful thing I'm moving toward. So there's all gain. But there's a very curious thing that happens in the middle of that, which Guru Maharaj defines as all risk, no gain. Because generally when you enter into spiritual life, you have some idea that's very material of what the objective of spiritual life is. Generally it means there's some version of a geographical transportation where it's like I'm going from the not so nice place that I'm at right now to like the super nice place where I'm going to be, right? And then that thing becomes a little hazy because you start to understand really what you're in is in a conscious journey, and consciousness is the only thing that really exists. And then everything becomes murky. And now you have to start offering into the infinite. And that feeling of all risk, no gain has got to be felt and sacrificed into. That's what sacrifice feels like. I'm going to give everything and I don't know what I'll get back. That means you're actually stepping on the path of love. Guru Maharaj says love has no other meaning other than sacrifice. It means I'm going to give everything to my beloved and I don't know what I'll get back. So when you're feeling these uncertainties in life, you have to offer into it. You have to sacrifice into it. You have to be willing to give your energy, your time, your effort, your best offering that you can come up with, and maybe it turns into ashes. Are you willing to do that? That's why there's a practice of a sacrifice, where you take the ghee and you take these beautiful objects and you offer them into a fire. Why? Because you have to learn how to give what's valuable within yourself. And what's actually ultimately valuable in you? It's your energy. It's your intention. Right? So, a part of this living in uncertainty is actually learning how to become a sacrificing unit within reality. And Guru Maharaj says, when you can do that, then very quickly you will realize it's actually no risk, all gain. You're not risking anything. And you have infinity to gain. But those stages have to be sincerely navigated. And it's actually a great gift in life to be feeling these moments of uncertainty. Because now you have to mine the most valuable substance in reality, which is sacrifice, which is love. And you have to give without expectation of return, without certainty of return. Right? We have to actually become bhakti yogis. Right? And that means, the surfers of the wave of the infinite, always in a sacrificing mood. In a joyous sacrificing mood, which is another great mystery. For those great souls that are actually connected to reality, they become enlivened when it gets difficult. Everybody else is, ah! The great soul is sitting peaceful and smiling. I can't. Yeah, Queen Kunti in the mother of the Pandavas in the Mahabharata. Arjuna was one of the Pandavas who Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to, but their mother is a great devotee. And there's actually a section of a wonderful book called Bhagavad Purana, which is the prayers of Queen Kunti. And one of her famous prayers is, I ask you to always put me in difficult circumstances. This regal royal queen who lost her entire kingdom, lived in the forest. Her sons were always under harassment. And in that situation, she found her relationship with the Lord. And she found that to be such a great treasure that she said, let me always be in difficult circumstances. So these are deep things. For me, if someone was to talk to me about oh my God, it was so hard. I was, 23. I had no idea what to do. Man, it was so hard. Hey, it's actually not that hard, but it was hard for me. But good. You know what I mean? You got to turn into that and feel it. See what it has hidden inside it for you. And, I may have said this before, but I do think that there's a very, very beautiful idea within Greek drama called expression. I mean, it's the root, it's not expression, but it's the root of the English word expression, which means the character has to be put into a circumstance where they have to finally mine something deep inside of themselves. And that circumstance is so pressing, so to speak, that something hidden way deep inside of them, Rai was alluding to this earlier, something hidden way deep inside of themselves has to come out. And that's called expression. And that wonderful thing would have never been found had that circumstance not demanded it of them. Right? So we have to take all these situations, circumstances, and these positions that we find ourselves in, and sacrifice into them and see what can come out of us. See the transformation that we're capable of. It's a mysterious thing, transformation, because we know we don't want to be the same person next year as we are right now. But we're not quite sure who that new person should be. But the situations in life that ask sacrifice from you, they're going to reveal a golden self inside of you that you didn't know. So, I guess in summary, I would say, embrace the feeling of risk and find something within yourself to make a burning offering into it. With all the sincerity that you can muster and as fearlessly as you can. And, remember Gurudev and remember Mahaprabhu. And you can't lose.
When you're confronted with so many different options and possibilities, that the underlying principle when you have to deal with these different things is just simply faith. Okay, I've got these different options. Krishna is presenting them before me. What do I do? Well, Krishna, let me do what you want me to do. And just, based on that, in your heart, make a choice. Knowing that if I make the wrong choice, it doesn't matter. Krishna will correct me and I'll go in the right direction. One way or other, Krishna will always be with us. So just remember that when we're confronted with different possibilities and different circumstances, go with your heart and try to follow it in the ideal of developing into Krishna's real servant. And, going in that direction, if we're a little off, Krishna will correct us. That's such a wonderful thing about developing devotional service. Krishna is our friend. He's always with us. He'll always guide us. He'll always take care of us. And as we develop and try to grow in that direction, it will become more and more real. Yeah, Krishna is really with me. Krishna really will help me. Krishna really will show me. And it doesn't matter if I make mistakes, because I'm full of mistakes. What Krishna wants is for me to try for him. And if I do that, Krishna will always take care of me. That's just such a wonderful, chance, a wonderful, aspect of our life that we can develop and grow in to become like, real persons, real souls, real personalities, living a life as God intends, as Krishna intends. We have this chance, we have this possibility. We just have to ask Krishna, help. Krishna will always help us.